At one point, he was considered one of the best, if not the best closers in baseball, the airbender, Devin Williams. He looked like he was on his way to being one of the best closers of this era, but now fans are asking what happened. Injuries, a shocking dip in performance, and now not even the closer for his own team with an ERA over 10 have raised real concerns about the future of Devin Williams. In this video, I take a look at how Devin Williams rose to the top of Major League Baseball and why all of a sudden he's taken a massive fall. Let's get to it. Back in 2013, before Devin Williams became a household name, he was considered a long-term project. He was drafted in the second round of the 2013 MLB Draft, 54th overall, by the Milwaukee Brewers at a high school in Missouri. Williams was viewed as a high-upside right-hander despite issues with his mechanics and his command because of his projectable frame and athleticism coming out of high school, a good fastball for his age, with potential for more, but his journey through the minor leagues was anything but smooth. In the early going of his minor league career being used as a starter, there were question marks with his maturity. He was having problems repeating his mechanics, which led to control issues, and he was having problems staying on the field as he dealt with numerous arm issues. Despite that, though, the Brewers felt he was just a tweak or two away from being unlocked. In 2017, though, he underwent Tommy John surgery, wiping out his entire season and stalling his development. He ended up coming back in 2018, but saw poor results, posting an ERA of 5.82 with over 5 walks per 9 over 14 starts. Heading into 2019, though, the Brewers thought the best course of action was to convert him into a reliever, a move that ended up paying off big time as he saw immediate success. With some added muscle on his frame, along with a developed changeup that had a difference of 10 miles per hour from his fastball, he pitched great between AA and AAA that year, posting a 2.21 ERA and a 2.77 FIP with just about 13 strikeouts per 9 over 34 games. He ended up making his major league debut that year, and he pitched okay over 13 games, posting a 3.95 ERA and 9.2 strikeouts per 9. In 2020, though, yes, the weird year of 2020 with all the cardboard cutouts, he proceeded to dominate in the setup role with the Brewers behind closer Josh Hader, possessing a changeup so ridiculous, getting over 40 inches of vertical drop, along with a big difference in velocity compared to the fastball, which helped him get the nickname the Airbender. He proceeded to post a ridiculous ERA of 0.33, a FIP of 0.86, and over 17 strikeouts per 9. He ended up winning National League Rookie of the Year and National League Reliever of the Year. He followed that up with strong seasons in 2021 and 2022, posting a combined ERA of 2.20, a FIP of 2.39, and over 14 strikeouts per 9. The big thing in 2022 with the Brewers, though, was the trade of their closer Josh Hader to the Padres, opening the door for Williams, who ended up saving 15 games that year and was firmly entrenched as the team's closer moving forward. In 2023, he dominated yet again, saving 36 games while posting a ridiculous ERA of 1.53, a FIP of 2.66, and 87 strikeouts over 58 and 2/3 innings pitched. This was all due to his elite stuff, mainly the changeup. However, during this time, there were some cracks starting to appear, and an even bigger one was on the horizon. Now remember, I brought up that there were some concerns with his maturity as he was going through the minor leagues. Well, in 2021, after the Brewers clinched the division, he proceeded to have a bit too much to drink, and he decided to punch a wall. He said he got upset and frustrated over an altercation with someone, and instead of taking it out on that person, he walked away and thought a wall was a better option. You could even look at the numbers, and in 2023, some of the advanced metrics were creeping up on him a little bit. While he was still striking out a lot of batters, his K rate in 2023 dropped from the previous year, and his FIP did go up a little bit. And sure, his changeup was still nasty, but he was basically a two-pitch pitcher, and the numbers suggested maybe batters were starting to catch on to him. In 2024, he ended up missing a huge chunk of the season because of a couple of stress fractures in his back, but he did come back later on that year, and he looked great, posting an ERA of 1.25 and saving 14 games over 22 appearances. In the postseason, though, he would end up having what would eventually be his last outing with the Brewers, and it was a bad one. With the Brewers looking to close out the Mets in Game 3 of the wildcard series, Williams came in for the save with a 2-run lead, but after a walk walk, a strikeout, and a base hit. He proceeded to hang his illustrious changeup just a bit too over the plate for Pete Alonso. The Mets ended up winning and advanced to the division round, ending a Brewers season that had high hopes. Despite a bad ending, Williams was still looking strong after a successful regular season and coming back from a back injury, and with only 1 year away from free agency and the big bucks awaiting him, the small market Brewers knew it was the right time to move on, so they sent him to the Yankees in a trade that brought back Nestor Cortez to help solidify their rotation while giving the Yankees an established closer. Yankee fans were ecstatic though, despite losing Juan Soto, and the defending American League champions bullpen was looking extremely strong. Coming into spring training this year with his beard still intact, people's heads turned because the Yankees had the infamous no beard policy, but he eventually complied and shaved it off. Shortly after though, the Yankees announced they were moving on from that policy to allow well-kept beards, so Yankee fans were even more excited because their new closer got to grow his beard back. Well, that excitement went away rather quickly, as Williams has had what I think is safe to say a disaster of a season so far in the Bronx. In his debut against the Brewers, he did get the save, but in the process, he did give up a couple of hits and a run, showing some early warning signs. He proceeded to have a couple of bad outings in his next few appearances, blowing a tie game against the Pirates to take the loss. Yes, the freaking Pirates, and he almost blew a game against the Tigers until Mark Leiter Jr. came in and saved the day. He was able to bounce back in his next few appearances, but he proceeded to melt down against the Rays later on, giving up 3 earned in the bottom of the 9th to blow the save. About a week later, the Yankees took a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the 8th against the Blue Jays, but Williams proceeded to blow another save, giving up 3 earned without even recording an out. Aaron Boone would go on to remove him from the closer role in favor of Luke Weaver, but he did end up doing well, posting hitless innings over his next 3 games. But once again, the wheels came off against the Padres recently. Looking to hold a 3-0 lead in the 8th inning, he ended up giving up 3 earned runs, and eventually the Padres would go on to win in the Bronx 4-3. So, what's happening here? Well, I think there's a few things going on, but a couple of good things so far is he is limiting the hard contact, ranking well in average exit velo along with hard hit percentage, and he's still getting a good amount of swing and miss, but there's a lot more going wrong. One thing I'm noticing is his fastball, which is down about 1 mile per hour on average from last year, and he's getting about an inch less of vertical drop on the changeup compared to last year. Now, don't get me wrong, 41 inches of vertical drop is still elite, but when coupled with a fastball that has a bit less velo, batters have been able to pick him up better than any time in his career. I also wonder if maybe he's tipping his pitches. This was something that people picked up on after the Mets-Brewers wildcard series, and when looking at these pictures side by side, fastball on the left, changeup on the right, I am noticing some differences. For the fastball, the angle of the glove is a bit different than on the right, and it looks like he's holding the ball a bit deeper in his glove, so perhaps this coupled with a slight dip in velocity and a little less vertical drop on the changeup isn't a good mix. And also, when you're a 2-pitch pitcher with diminishing velo and stuff, you're going to have to make up for that by hitting your spots and throwing strikes, which he simply hasn't been able to do consistently up to this point. As of right now, he has 7 walks per 9, and he's not getting ahead in counts. Actually, against 58 batters up to this point, he's only had an 0-2 count 7 times. So there's a couple of things I'm wondering about here. The first being, could there still be something lingering from the back issues from last year? Or maybe there could be something mentally going on. Like I've mentioned a couple of times, there have been question marks with his mental makeup in the past, and like we've seen many times, some guys simply just aren't a good fit to play in the Bronx, especially with that fan base. Now, not taking anything away from him, but maybe it's just not a good fit for him personally, and he would be better off elsewhere. I also wonder about the fit with the coaching staff. Now, you got to remember, he was with the Brewers organization for over 10 years. He was a guy that battled both mechanical and control issues over that time. The Brewers did find out what worked for him. They were able to unlock him, but maybe it's not the same with the Yankees. Now, not a knock against the Yankees by any means, but sometimes players just don't fit some organizations. Whatever it is, it's not looking good for Williams at this point. Now, there is a lot of season left, so he has a lot of opportunities to turn it around, but it's looking pretty iffy as of right now. But everybody, those are my thoughts on Devin Williams. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Do you think he'll be able to turn it around? Tell me what you think. But everybody, that's all I got for right now. If you can on the way out, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll talk to you next time.